train layout and a suitcase that was actually supposed to be a briefcase is now done. And I am really in love with this thing. I set this up so I could do 2 trains at once on an inner and an outer loop, and then I wanted everything to be portable. I wanted the whole thing to be battery powered, and I wanted to do it in Z scale. So I'm using Rokuhan Shorty. I got a Shinkansen, and then I've also got just a regular Metro rail car. And then I also have another Shinkansen train here that I don't have on the track because for whatever reason, I don't know why, I just like having the small car and then the Shinkansen running at the same time. All the buildings are 3D printed. And these are basically modified designs that I got off of Thingiverse, and then I hollowed them out so that I could light them. So they each have acrylic clear sheet inside, and then there's an LED strip on the top of each of the buildings. And these are 12-volt strips, and then everything lights up. The street lights, I got these off of Amazon. I'll put the links below in the bottom of the video so you can order any of this stuff if you want to. I 3D printed the bus stops. Those are out of resin. And then the lake is just like a sheet of blue water, and a laser cut that. There's, I think it's a 1/16 inch thick acrylic on the top to protect the sheet underneath it, and that's just a street layout printed out on gloss paper. And then the holes, like drilled holes underneath all of this, and then this board sits 1/4 inch up. There's like little 1/4 inch strips that it's sitting on top of, and then the wires all run down and they come back over here to the control box. The control box I'm really proud of because I built this from scratch, and I can control the inner loop, the outer loop, I can control the switch, I can control the direction, I can turn the lights on and off. And then this is the thing that took me the longest. I finally realized the original plan was to power this whole thing by a 9-volt battery, and it kind of worked, except when the battery would get low, then the switch would stop working. When all the lights were on, the trains would only run at half speed, and then also it wasn't enough current to power the lights on the car, so it kind of worked, but it just didn't really work out. So this is a 12-volt battery. Well, it's a power bank, but it puts out 12 volts, and it's 3,000 milliamps, so it should last a long time. And then I can see the lights on it, so I'm really happy about that. So I can always see where my power indication on is. I tried to do it with a LiPo battery, and the problem with that is because I didn't have a low voltage cutoff, I was draining the LiPo, getting it down to a dangerous voltage, and then there's just no way for me to know that. A couple of things like with operation. So this actually has, what I'm using is, it's a capacitor. I thought when I first hooked this up that all you had to do to work a switch was you would just have like an actual mechanical switch, and you would just flip it back and forth and it would switch it. No, it doesn't work like that. If you leave the current on this thing too long, it actually burns out the switches, and I burnt out my first one. So what this is set up with is it has, I think, it's a 1,000, was it picofarad capacitor, and when it charges, so when the voltage source initially comes in, it charges up to the 1,000, then it cuts off because it'll block the DC current when it, or DC voltage when it's fully charged. Then when I flip the switch the opposite direction, it discharges it, and that actually flips the track, and that actually flips the switch. So that works nice. And I can also run the trains. I can change the direction. So let's just turn these guys on. The only thing I don't like about these Rokuhans is, I don't know if it's a weight issue, but once they stop, they kind of tend to want to stay stopped. But what I can do is I can slow them down, and then I can reverse direction. I can flip. Then I can reverse them back. And so I've got full control over both trains. And I really like having 2 trains that I can run in a compact layout. The box itself is made out of 1/4 inch, I think this is oak plywood, and then I laser cut it. And then I added some nice black trim on it and some corners just to keep it protected. I printed out the back, I think that's the Grand Tetons. And then I've also got, this is a 3D printed cover, so when everything's closed up, you just put that in, nothing can move. The lid can go down. And then the whole thing's portable. You just pick it up. And it doesn't weigh much. It looks like it's heavy, but it's actually not. It's only about, maybe I would say, maybe 6-7 pounds. And just if you're curious, the box is 3 feet wide, 2 feet long. Well, it's 3 foot by 2 foot, and then about 6 inches deep. And, oh, my favorite part, I almost forgot. So when you turn the lights on, I've actually got a screen going here. And this is a LilyGo TT-Go display. And I've got some animations from The Force Awakens playing, and then I've also got The Force Awakens movie poster, so it looks like a LCD screen you would see like in a city. But yeah, that's about it. Really happy with the train set, and thanks for watching.